Hi, this is Brent Haynes with Woodsounds Flutes, and I'm very pleased to be able to introduce you to a double high C made from Brazilian Rosewood. This flute is has got yellow cedar burl for the mouthpiece. We've got copper inlays, gold and silver inlays, ebony, the Brazilian rosewood. We've got an eagle flying towards the sun, and we've got a trinity symbol inlaid in gold, copper, and silver, as well as the sun is made up of gold, copper, and silver down here on the ends, and the yellow cedar burl. Anyways, a really beautiful flute. It is a easy clean flute, and this one works so nice and smooth. I feel really good about it. We're making a lot of headway on creating these in a really beautiful and creative way. This easy clean simply allows me to blast any moisture out of the mouthpiece itself, and I can get in and clean the first chambers of the flutes. It's very nice. So it could be put on upside down, put on, typically I put with it on so that this part right here that sticks out a little bit hangs on the right hand side of the flute, and that goes to the top flute. So right here goes to the top flute, and this goes to the bottom flute, and allows me to play the flute as a single or a drone. And this is the first time I played the flute for just a minute like this, but I haven't played it as a double flute. I haven't gone up through it as a double flute. I want to share that with you here in a minute as I go through it for the first time. One of the other things that we did on this that I really dig is we've got the turquoise totem and the ebony bottom of the totem, the functional part, and in between the two, I've inlaid a piece of gold that wraps around the totem. Just a very delicate accent, but it's very elegant, I think, and beautiful. Anyways, so as it's set up right now, it's set up to play as a drone, which simply means that the second flute plays the same note over continuously. I can then also slide back the leather straps. Each one of these leather straps covers a tuning hole or a playing hole. So I've uncovered the first playing hole, and you can hear it played as a drone with that. And I have not done intonation check on this flute yet. What's really exciting to me, we made some changes again this year at Woodsounds. One of the major changes that we made in tuning of the instruments is I purchased a system and put together a system that allows us to measure the breath pressure as we are tuning the instrument. And so we're now tuning the flutes to a consistent 10 microbars from the bottom to the top. All the way through, it's tuned to 10 microbars. So that means that you can play it softer and you can play it harder, but the consistent pressure at which it's played at is 10 microbars. And we're doing that across all of our flutes now, tuning them to 10 microbars. And what's really cool, it's making all the flutes sound even better because the intonation is more consistent and it's quantifiable in that it's not subjective to human interpretation, but rather we can quantify it to a number and tune to that, and that allows us to have this consistency built into the instrument in a way that we didn't have before. Normally we would tune to a constant breath pressure, but that breath pressure would be whatever we supplied it with, and we tune to that. And so this provides us a way of really consistently dialing in the tuning for our clients, yourselves, and whatnot. And anyway, so that was the drone with the bottom note. We can take it up again, and so each time I change the note that I'm droning with, it changes the how the flute plays and what it sounds like. So what's really exciting to me is that every time I'm opening up a hole, I'm hearing the tuning of the bottom flute compared to the top flute for the first time as them together. They've simply been tuned. Oops, I got something not quite right here. They've simply been tuned to the constant pressure, and but since we dialed them both into the same breath pressure together, playing for the first time, they play perfect, just perfect. And that's really, really exciting to me to be able to provide that consistency to you. Okay, so now on the double, I'm going to go ahead and move my bottom hand to the bottom flute, top hand on the top flute, and I can play it as a double flute in this way. So prior, we were playing it as a droning instrument. Now I'm going to use my fingers on the bottom holes of the bottom flute, fingers on the top holes of the top flute, and that will allow me to use my hands independently of each other. And then I'm playing it in what I call it a double flute fashion. That's actually playing it as a double flute. And one of the fun things on a little high C, I can use my pinky. I've got pretty good dexterity in my pinkies, so I can use my pinky on the flute too. Now I get myself all lost there, but that was kind of cool anyways. So much for my great dexterity. I don't want to stop the video. This is a really fun flute to play. It is very, very, very present, and just all of the little nuances of sound are just fantastic. So really, really gorgeous. This is a flute that really is about turning toward God, and I think it's quite lovely. The eagle flying to the sun for cleansing, I think, is really a beautiful symbol to be able to build into the flute. And so anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, this is Brazilian Rosewood. It's the flute is a high C double, and I'm Brent Haynes with Woodsound Flutes. By all means, give me a call, 801-822-1415, or shoot me an email at brent@woodsounds.com. Hope you're having a superb day.